Something dark is creeping into the NBA.
Today, we are here in New York to announce a historic arrest across a wide-sweeping criminal enterprise that enveloped the NBA.
The season just tipped off, but the major headlines aren't about basketball. They're about sports betting, insider info, and criminal charges.
Big night for the NBA when Beyonce put on a show. That has now been smeared because we're talking about this story.
Arrests have already been made, the commissioner is under fire, and we've only uncovered the tip of this iceberg.
Are the sports leagues going to be targeted? Of course, because they know athletes are easy prey in many, many cases.
What's really going on here? Who are the key players at the center of all this? And just how far does this scandal go?
A confidential FBI source recorded over 3,000 calls.
Don't be surprised if the WNBA is next.
I've gone through every article, report, and statement I could find to piece together the full picture. And trust me, this goes way deeper than anyone thought.
There's never been a single person in the history of the NBA that's been banned from the Hall of Fame, and LeBron could be the first.
Oh, wow.
How did the FBI uncover this? 3 people with NBA ties have been arrested so far. A current player, a current head coach, and LeBron's former shooting coach, all connected to the same growing scandal, trying to make a quick buck by scamming people. But the real question is, how did the FBI uncover this? Well, there are really only 3 ways something like this gets exposed, and the third one looks like it'll lead to something huge. First off, it starts when unusual betting patterns trips online algorithms. For example, Rozier told a friend some inside information, which led to unusual betting patterns, which triggered an alarm. And honestly, I don't know how he thought he'd get away with it. I mean, over $250,000 in bets and 30 bets in 46 minutes. For Rozier to underachieve? That's literally a red flag waving in neon. The second way the FBI uncovered this is through phone taps, literally listening in on private conversations. And according to reports, what they found wasn't small. I mean, aside from sending in undercover agents and everything else, they collected over 3,000 phone calls. 3,000. The whole operation was called Operation Royal Flush and actually took place over the course of 4 years. So they've got a lot of dirt. And what's been released to the public so far is just the tip of the iceberg. The third way, and even though it sounds simple, it's actually massive. And according to ex-mobster Michael Franzese, it's that,
how did they find out it happened? Very simple. Somebody told them.
Now, this one's huge, and I genuinely believe this could be Pandora's box, which could lead to the biggest sports scandal in North American history. But first, let me show you something. So this is a clip of Chauncey Billups leaving court. At first glance, it doesn't look like much, just Billups walking out after posting bail. But look closely, really closely. Do you see what's written on his shirt? If not, here's another image to make it clearer. Yeah, Clutch Sports. For anyone who doesn't know, that's the agency that represents LeBron James. Now, when it comes to the idea of someone talking, you really have to ask yourself, out of every sweatshirt Billups could have worn to court that day, why that one? Why the one that can connect LeBron James? Let's just say, things run a lot deeper than they look right now, and we're about to get into all of that soon. But first, another important question. What did League Commissioner Adam Silver know?
Adam, yesterday, federal indictments were announced involving current player Terry Rozier and current head coach Chauncey Billups.
At the Knicks vs. Celtics season opener in New York, the NBA commissioner did a quick impromptu interview. And when the reporter brought up the recent gambling controversy, you could see it. He looked nervous. And honestly, he probably should be. Because here's the thing. The league already launched a full investigation into Terry Rozier and the March 23, 2023 incident, and somehow concluded that Rozier did not violate any NBA rules. So basically, Adam Silver looked at all the evidence and decided it was just a coincidence. In the words of this fan, we've investigated ourselves and found no wrongdoing. This whole incident is a major blow to Adam Silver's credibility as commissioner. So basically, he admitted the NBA's internal investigation was a joke. And when you add everything else on top, the Luka Mavericks trade, which made no sense, then Dallas landing the #1 pick, and of course the recent Kawhi salary cap scandal, all of which are completely obvious issues that the league still hasn't addressed, it makes what Adam Silver says next to almost laughable.
There's nothing more important to the league and its fans than the integrity of the competition.
How can he say that nothing is more important than the integrity of the league when A, it's pretty clear he's letting obvious stuff slide under the rug, and B, he's the one who championed legalized sports betting in the first place? But now comes the question of who else is still involved? And this is where things go from messy to downright nasty. So, here's what former referee Tim Donaghy had to say about this.
You know, I think we're just at the tip of the iceberg. I think when you talk about arrests being made by the FBI, I think the guys that are arrested are going to sit down and, be scared to death with what they're facing, and they're going to start to cooperate, and they're going to tell the FBI everything they know, and this thing is going to spread like wildfire, and you're going to find out that this is a lot bigger than it is right now, and it's pretty big.
So here's what we know so far, and these are undisputed facts. Damon Jones, LeBron's former teammate and longtime shooting coach, gave inside info to bettors, telling them LeBron would be out for a specific game. We also know that one of LeBron's closest business partners, Maverick Carter, was caught up in an illegal gambling investigation a few years ago. Back in 2021, the Department of Justice launched a probe into an underground betting ring, and Carter's name came up. When questioned by the FBI, Carter admitted to betting on NBA games, but here's the line that raised eyebrows. I could not recall placing bets on Lakers games. LeBron, his business partner and close friend, was on the Lakers at the time. That would have been a major violation, and the best he could come up with was, I could not recall. Yeah, sounds a little suspicious. And then there's Chauncey Billups, who, like I said earlier, showed up to the court wearing a Clutch Sports sweatshirt. That's the kind of silent message that says a lot without saying a word. I'm not saying LeBron is involved in any of this. In fact, I think it'd be incredibly dumb for someone with his empire to touch illegal gambling at all. But with everything starting to unravel, we're about to find out just how deep this really goes. Like Tim Donaghy said, what happens if the FBI sits Chauncey Billups down and he starts talking? Now, it's innocent until proven guilty, but if convicted, Billups is facing some serious time. We're talking up to 20 years per charge, one for conspiracy to commit wire fraud, another for conspiracy to commit money laundering. That's potentially 40 years in federal prison if he's convicted. Now ask yourself, if you were in his position, staring down 30, maybe 40 years behind bars, and the FBI offered you a deal to talk, what would you do? And here's where it gets real. The FBI has been building this case for over 4 years. They've got more than 3,000 recorded phone calls. Over 30 people have already been arrested. No one's been convicted yet, but the feds don't make arrests without strong evidence. Not after 4 years of surveillance, not with 3,000 calls in hand. All it's going to take is one person to flip, one domino to fall, and the whole house of cards could come crashing down.
I think this is widespread. I think it's going to be very damaging to the league. And, I just received a text message from one of the FBI agents that worked my case, and he basically said that they're not going to be able to cover this up like they covered up my case.
Now comes the next big question. What's next for the NBA? And how many more names are about to surface? Because make no mistake, the league is likely headed straight for some serious backlash. And without getting too political, let's not forget, for years, the NBA, and LeBron James in particular, has been openly critical of the current president.
You bum. I'm not his friend though. I don't want to see that on the note. He's not my friend. My first initial response was you bum.
Now, while the FBI is officially leading the investigation, just remember who's sitting at the top of the chain. The big boss. And if he actually holds a deep grudge for everything that was said about him, things could get real ugly real fast.
Trump is coming. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. Everybody's better brace themselves because he's coming.
Next up, will NBA viewership take a major hit? Honestly, probably not. As long as the league's biggest stars, guys like Steph Curry, Victor Wembanyama, and the rest of the top-tier names, stay clean, which they are, the average fan isn't going anywhere. These are the players who drive ratings. Now, what about Adam Silver? He's in a tough spot. I mean, this is the man who pushed for legalized sports betting and launched an internal investigation into Rozier, and apparently found nothing. Meanwhile, the FBI swooped in and immediately made an arrest. So either he missed something massive, or he's been turning a blind eye and sweeping it all under the rug. Honestly, there's a real chance Adam Silver could be forced to step down. Third, is LeBron actually involved in any of this? Personally, I don't think so. But at the same time, he has said a few things that were a little bit off before.
Hey, everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so. Hey, everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Here's what really stands out to me. Chauncey Billups walked into court in public wearing a Clutch Sports sweatshirt. And if he's found guilty, the FBI is going to ask one simple question. Do you want to talk, or do you want to face 20 years? And at that point, anything is possible. Just for some perspective, back in the 1980s, MLB superstar Pete Rose, one of the most decorated players in baseball history, got hit with a lifetime ban from the sport for one thing: betting on his own team. And for that, he was erased from the Hall of Fame. So if you think something can't happen to a big name today, think again.